Tired of those household handsets that the batteries are always dying on you? Well, this here's one that has 4 bars. You can see there in the upper right. Let's get that light out of the way. Okay, there it is, the upper right. You can see 4 bars there. And as I say, this handset here, the battery would not last more than like 30 minutes. And it was constantly being a hassle, dying on you during a conversation and having to run to try to grab another handset to save the call and all that stuff. So this battery is an identical one to what's in here. I'll show you that. There's 3.6 nickel metal hydride, 3.6 volts, 1000 milliamp hours supposedly. Nickel metal hydride, yeah. And it's the same batteries as is in here. Same exact thing. But what I did is I took this battery out after I'd let the phone die. Just leave it on and let it die. Wait till it's already acting up and then just leave it on and let it die till the screen goes blank. Take the battery out. Just unplug it like this. And then just plug in this 26, well, and I'd probably use a 40 ohm resistor. Don't go below about 25 because this resistor does get hot. Okay, and you want to, in fact, it's a little warm right now, and this is an old battery from years ago. But I don't know if it has a date on it. Let's see. No date, but anyway, so you plug that resistor in after it won't light the screen. So you drain it normally in the phone, then you take it out, and then you plug that resistor in right where there's 2 little holes. You can see that right there. See right here, there's 2 little holes where it goes in, or it plugs in, and you just drain it overnight, like until, and you keep checking with the voltmeter, and you want to check it until it says 0.0 volts, which sounds insane, right? But guess what? Hey, it's magic. Nickel metal hydride, rumor was one of the car people said when they came out with that battery in the 90s in that electric car out in California, the EV1, they said that nickel metal hydride battery is bulletproof. You can't kill the dang thing. Well, you know what? I'm a believer, because in 2003 we did a test. I did the test with the nickel metal hydride, and another guy did a test with lithium ion. Well, he drained his down to some low voltage, and it never would take a charge again. It was completely lost and would never come back. Never even thought about taking a charge. Just completely dead. This I charged, this one here actually, I ran it down to 0.0 just last night, and I've been charging it all night, and now I plugged it in, and I know you're gonna have to trust me on this, but if you try it yourself, I'm sure you'll get the same answer. Okay, so you go down to 0.0, check it with the voltmeter, right, on DC volts, and I'm not testing it, that's just random voltage right there. But this now has 4 bars. Well, now it's down to, I guess, 2 or 3. Now there is a little trick to this, and I remember that from 2003, 2004, when we did it. I drained it down to 0.0 with a resistor, something like this. And you want to check your battery, make sure it's not heating up. This is cool to the touch. So you want to use a high enough resistor, but not too high that it takes 3 years to drain it. You don't want to go below 25 though, because it could overheat the battery. Draining it too quick, even though it's already supposedly dead. Alright, but the trick I'm trying to tell you was, when you charge it up, in 2003 I charged it up and it showed that it was charged. I think it had 4 bars, and now it's down to 2 bars. But the thing is, I found out after it died, after about 5-10 minutes. I thought, well, that figures, you know, I drained it to 0.0 volts, so what do you expect, right? It's going to be dead, right? So I had charged it all night, and it only lasted like 5-10 minutes. Now, what I found out was I was kind of disappointed, so I just set it back on the charging cradle and thought, well, we'll see what happens if I try to charge it again. Maybe it'll get better. And you know what? It did. It got so good. After it's kind of like a double hump. It charges up, and then you discharge it somewhat until it won't light the screen anymore, and then you set it back on the cradle, and it goes on up to full strength. At least it did in 2003, and that battery actually lasted about 8 more years. 8 more years. That's incredible, isn't it? That's nickel metal hydride for you. So you can apparently refresh them. This phone's been on for over 35 minutes now. Of course, it's not actually transmitting, but I did transmit with it for like 23 minutes, and then I goofed up and hit the wrong button. Excuse me for that, but I can't spend my whole life doing a video like this. I'm just trying to tell you, try it yourself and get the light out of it, right? And you can see there's 2 bars, and that could be normal. So I could turn this phone on. See if you hear the dial tone. Okay, there's the dial tone. Speaker button. And just leave it on and see how long it lasts. And whatever it is, when it's done and does finally go to a blank screen, just set it back on the charging cradle, and I think you'll find out it'll last like a new battery again. It's like you get a new battery out of it. So you can take your old batteries, don't throw them away, because heck, with this resistor you can refresh it, get it down to 0.0. Now don't do this with any other battery. This only works with nickel metal hydride, to my knowledge. If you did this with lithium ion, you're throwing your money away. You'll have a paperweight. Lead acid doesn't like it either. So, but nickel metal hydride's special. That's why it was in that electric car from the 90s. They hated that battery so much that they recalled them all and shipped them out into the desert to supposedly a secret location. But some people followed them in a helicopter and filmed them chipping brand new cars, electric cars, into little tiny bits. Brand new electric cars into little tiny bits. They took all the batteries out first. They were nickel metal hydride. And so Texaco bought the patent and squashed it until 2015. But everybody's all focused on lithium ion. Lithium ion catches on fire and explodes. Sometimes a nickel metal hydride might catch on fire, but I've never heard of one exploding. So it's a lot safer. No, it's not as high of energy density, and it's also a little bit heavier, but with the safety factor and the fact that it's bulletproof, you can go down to 0.0 and still have something that works when you charge it up. I'm going to wait till this goes to a blank screen, and I'll resume this, and I'll set it on the charging cradle, and by then we'll know how many minutes. It's counting the minutes there. We're already up to, I had 23, so we'll just say this is 25. How's that? I know there's about 10 minutes in there that kind of got lost, but that's okay. I'm not going to fudge it, you know. Anyway, so I'm going to put this on pause, and I'm going to come back when the screen's blank and set it on the charging cradle. Okay, here you can see with this extra battery, you know, the handset's still digressing. It's up to 10 minutes, I guess, 12 minutes. But this extra battery, I actually decided to go ahead and drain it. Well, it's down to 2.21 volts already. It's been sitting for years. But I'm going to change the range to, you know, like millivolts or something, and see if we can get it to, yeah, maybe it'll start over with this. It's usually a pretty good voltmeter. Okay, there it is, 2.201, and it just dropped to 2.199. So you can see it is dropping. You can follow the cables. There's no hidden mirrors or smoke or anything like that. It's just draining a battery, okay, with a resistor. That's all you're doing. So you can see it's still dropping. Eventually it'll go to 0.0 something, you know, it'll be 0.06 or something like that. The main thing, just get it down to 0.0 anything, really. And it'll probably take 12 hours or something for that to happen. Then when that does happen, put it back in a phone, put the battery back in a phone, put it on the charging cable, the cradle, charge it up fully to where you got 4 bars if possible. And after 12 hours of charging, if it still won't go to 4 bars, take it off and use it anyway, as long as you can. Record the time. It might only be 5 or 10 minutes, but then put it back on the charger and you'll get that extra, that double hump effect, and it'll go through the roof, and you'll have, at least it worked for me years ago, but apparently it's working now on this one. We're up to what, 14 minutes almost? Yeah, right there, 14 minutes. Still got 2 bars. So that's 14 plus 22, or 3, whatever it was. That's 37 minutes or whatever. So this seems to be working. I mean, how many batteries can you zero out to 0.0 and still get that much time off it? So I'm going to put it back on pause. I'm just showing you the voltage is dropping on this other battery. So it drops slowly, but you don't want to do it too fast because don't want to overheat the battery, you know. Okay, you can see this battery's still draining, and now it's down to almost just 2 volts. So it's going to take a while, but you know, be patient. You're going to get your battery back. And this one is up to 19 minutes plus the 23 we already had. So that's about 43 minutes really. It's 20 minutes plus 23, 43 minutes. It's still showing 2 bars, which I find interesting. It had 4 for quite a while, then it dropped to 3 and then to 2, and now it seems to be holding at 2. We'll come back to it when the screen goes blank. You can see it's still draining, but it's in just 10 minutes or so it's been down about 1.1 volt maybe, I don't know. And then this one over here is just now coming up on 30 minutes plus the 23 we had from before I goofed up and turned it off by mistake. You just have to trust me on that one. I'm not doing this to make money. Okay, there's 30 plus 20, that's 53 minutes right there. It's still got 2 bars. That's amazing, isn't it? You can get that light out of there. Let's turn off the light on the camera. Okay, well there is 40 minutes plus the 23. That's over an hour. It's still got 2 bars. You can see it there. The light would get out of the way. Maybe I just block the light with my finger. Oh, that's better, yeah. I got a red glow there. I guess I could push it, light up the screen. And then that shows you the 2 bars there. And it's over 41 minutes plus 23. And like I say, you just have to trust me in the 23 minutes. But this one here is almost down to 1 volt already. You know, I guess if you wanted to really play games, you could lower the ohmage here and get a faster drain, but I don't recommend that. but I do have to get moving. So I'm gonna just have to call this off. Try this. I think you'll be happy with the results. I'm already happy because I got a battery that lasts over an hour already. And yesterday I had one that only lasted 30 minutes. So I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna leave it on. And what is that? Still 2 bars. Look at that. I wonder what. There's a better focus, I guess. Hard to get it to focus. So anyway, that's it. I think I'm gonna call this off because I do need to get moving. Well, okay, we'll take. Okay, closing in on 1 hour. Well, 53 minutes plus the 23, so that's 76 minutes, I guess. It's still showing 2 bars, it looks like. Let's see if I can light it up. Okay, let's see, what is that? God, it's hard to focus. Looks like 2 bars to me. And this other one, the resistor's still draining this year's old battery. Now it's below 1 volt. Look at that. So I'm just gonna leave it sit here all day. It's on a metal stove here, so that'll be safe. And the battery's not hot at all. The battery's cool to the touch. Okay, we're up to 58. Still got 2 bars. I hope you can see it. I'm really sorry for the poor quality, but anyway, this one over here is down to 0.7 volts. Still draining with that resistor. So I'm gonna have to quit here in a couple minutes because I've got to run. Got to go back to work. But this is an interesting thing. Then I've done it before and it worked, and I'm doing it again and it's working again. You get tired of buying those batteries, you know. But this only works for nickel metal hydride. Again, the procedure is drain it to 0.0. First drain it, you know, with the phone until the screen won't light up. Take the battery out, put that resistor in, 25 ohms or 30 ohms. And then drain it to 0.0 something. And then put it on the charging cradle and charge it up again. And run it down again. Might only last 10 minutes. In this case, it's lasted, you know, effectively an hour and 23 minutes at least. So that's pretty good on a shot battery that I was going to throw away, you know. And then once this is completely not lighting up anymore, I'll go ahead and recharge it again. And as I said, in 2003 or 4, I did this, and the battery lasted 8 more years and worked wonderfully for the whole time. So there's the 60-minute point. I'm going to have to go, as I said. This one's down to 0.7 volts. And I've got to go. Good luck.